Hello and welcome to A Kill Count. I'm not James A. Janice, and I know that's disappointing, but he's the one that made it abundantly clear he is never going to cover Marvel movies. So I said, fine, I'll do it myself. I will in no way be anywhere near as good as James, but I always thought it'd be fun to make one of these. Consider this an homage, not a parody. With that in mind, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is a 2022 superhero action film with hints of horror. It's the 28th entry into the MCU, and the 5th movie of the 4th phase. Largely following the events of Infinity War and WandaVision, the story follows the titular Doctor Strange as he attempts to save the multiverse from a corrupted Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch. Like many movies during this time, COVID affected the filming schedule, as production was pushed from May to November of 2020, and was again delayed in January of 2021, before picking back up in March. This delay resulted in writer Michael Waldron canning the first draft of the script entirely, and starting a new one from scratch. This movie became known for how often the script would change, with it not being uncommon for changes to be made on set while shooting. Perhaps that's why it had a split reception when it was released. A lot of people took issue with Wanda's character and how they handled the multiverse concept as a whole. But personally, I love this film. Yes, it has its faults, but it has amazing moments, great character building, and a beautifully unique style thanks to Sam Raimi's directing. Raimi was brought on to direct after the original director, Scott Derrickson, who directed the first Doctor Strange movie, dropped out due to creative differences. I'm always wary when a director drops out of a project for creative differences, but I gotta say, Sam Raimi fucking nailed it. It had been 9 years since Raimi had last directed a movie, and 15 years since he had directed a superhero movie, with the release of Spider-Man 3 coming in 2007.
It's been a long time since I'd made a superhero movie. I wonder if I could still do it. And that alone was reason enough.
Raimi worked with Kevin Feige on the aforementioned Spider-Man 3, so it was a natural fit. Directing movies must be like riding a bike, because I think Sam Raimi killed it, injecting his unique tone and style into an MCU that desperately needed a breath of fresh air. If you're one of those people that just clumps this movie under the ill-advised statement, all Marvel movies look the same, maybe actually watch the movie first. The energy Raimi brings is undeniable. The visuals, the music, the tone, it all sets this movie apart from the other entries in the franchise. But does it also set itself apart in the kill department? Let's find out and get to them. The movie begins with a twist. A camera twist, that is, as we see Doctor Strange and a young girl running away from a ribbony monster. Doctor Strange is able to temporarily trap the monster, as he decides the best way to prevent said monster from getting this girl's unknown powers is to take them for himself. He starts to steal her powers as he recites a line we heard in Spider-Man No Way Home.
In the grand calculus of the multiverse, their sacrifice means infinitely more than their lives.
But in the grand calculus of the multiverse, your sacrifice is worth more than your life.
He's cut short, however, by the monster stabbing him right through the back. He's not quite dead yet though, and helps the girl escape through a portal she opened with her powers. We get another twisty camera shot as Sam Raimi announces he has entered the building. Turns out that entire sequence was just a dream. Or was it? Our current Doctor Strange is using magic to tie ties and wearing watches that have been broken for years, as he gets ready for a wedding. At the wedding, Strange is confronted by his former colleague Dr. West, who laments those he lost when he was dusted.
I lost both my cats.
What a loser!
And my brother.
Oh. Classic Marvel humor. Dr. West asks Strange if there was any other way he could have handled the conflict, recalling what Strange said to Tony in Infinity War after giving up the Time Stone.
There was no other way.
This is the main crux of Doctor Strange's character in this film. The idea of sacrifice, when it's necessary, and where to draw the line. He reiterates his stance that it was his only option, but Dr. West won't let him get off that easily.
But you still didn't get the girl.
That's right, it's Christine Palmer's wedding, love interest of Doctor Strange, and she's marrying not Doctor Strange. Christine is played by Rachel McAdams, who we haven't seen in the MCU since the first Doctor Strange movie back in 2016. That giant gap in time does make the love plot kind of weak. I think they should have just cut their losses and moved on. There were so many other interesting concepts they could have focused on with that time. But whatever. Hollywood loves a lost love story. Strange tells Christine he's happy for her, and when she asks if he's happy, he says yes, but it's clearly not a confident affirmation. As we will see, he is still very hung up on her. After honing his inner Jesus, the reception is interrupted by a haunted bus that starts terrorizing New York City. Oh, never mind. It's a giant one-eyed tentacle monster named Gargantos. This fight sequence is a ton of fun. It's got magic dog heads, magic hands, big old saws, and everyone's favorite, Wong. If you thought Doctor Strange and sorcerers like him were just making shit up with their hands, you're wrong. Julian Daniels was the magic choreographer on set, dope job title, and created a consistent set of moves for the sorcerers. He was approached by Marvel after they saw work of his where he was tutting, a dance style that uses fingers, hands, and arms to create shapes.
Anytime something involves like levitation or movement of matter, this is involved. So if you see like he's flying, right? If he's flying with his cloak, he's also using these, but that's him. He's the matter.
All the New York street scenes were actually filmed in Longcross Studios in England on a giant set built by Marvel. They created 4 blocks of convincing New York streets that were rigged to be blown up and tossed around. I know a lot of people rag on Marvel for using too much CGI, so I want to make sure to highlight the impressive practical elements built by the crew. Director Sam Raimi made it clear he wanted as much to be practical as possible.
Anything that can be practical, Sam wants practical.
The monster is chasing the same girl from Doctor Strange's dream earlier, who we'll learn is a girl named America Chavez, because God fucking bless America. She's played by young actress Xochitl Gomez, who was only 14 years old at the time of being cast. The only real thing of note she had been in beforehand is The Babysitter's Club on Netflix. Gomez was understandably both nervous and excited for her part in Doctor Strange. Fortunately for her, Benedict Wong was there to keep things light on set and make us love him even more.
We always have a bit of music on set, and she's big into, what was it, TikTok? She tried to teach me some moves, but I think I pulled a muscle.
Gargantos gains the upper hand in the battle, and it seems like he will be incredibly difficult to defeat. But it's actually super easy, barely an inconvenience. And that's not right. Strange uses his demon hands to shove a lamppost through its eye, and pluck it out with a cute little sound effect. I'm not adding Gargantos to the count, because I don't want that precedent to come back and bite me if I ever end up doing other Marvel movies like The Avengers. God, that would be a nightmare. America reveals she is from another universe, explaining she has the power to travel throughout the multiverse. The monsters that are after her are under the control of someone that wants to kidnap her and take her power. She and the other Doctor Strange from the opening, known as Defender Strange, were trying to reach the Book of Vishanti, a magical book of pure good that would give them what they need to defeat the demon that's after her. She explains that the dream Doctor Strange had last night wasn't a dream at all. That's right, dreams are actually a window into another universe, where what you are dreaming is actually happening. For me, this is the most fun multiversal element they cover. It makes me wonder how the version of me is doing that got his head bashed in with a baseball bat by Negan, and then turned into Batman, crashing out of a window where an armada of ships were waiting to infiltrate Negan's lair. To prove she isn't lying, America takes them to the spot where Defender Strange's corpse lies, giving us our first kill for the count. Cause of death? Irony. Strange and Wong deduce that it isn't sorcery controlling the monsters, it's witchcraft, which means it's finally time for some WandaVision. Aw, look how happy Wanda is with her kids Billy and Tommy. Everything is perf. Ah damn, it was just a dream. Because remember, life has sucked for our Wanda, who is, once again, all alone. She's now spending her time cutting apple blossoms off of trees. But are they real?
It's all very real. Thanks.
Trick question, those aren't real apple blossoms. They shot this scene in a real orchard, but since COVID pushed back the filming schedule, the trees were barren when they got out there. Their solution was not CGI, but instead, handmade fake blossoms that were painstakingly attached to the trees with wire. Good God, that's a ton of work. So, are they real? Yes and no. Wanda is revealed to be the one sending the creatures after America, as she is in the seductive grasps of the Darkhold, an evil book that corrupts anyone who reads it. A fact very familiar to fans of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The pain and grief she feels from everything that has happened throughout her life drove her to use its powers, as she searches for her children in another universe. Her poor mental state made it much easier for her to succumb to the book's dark powers, as we already saw what she was capable of doing in WandaVision on her own accord. She warned Strange to surrender America to her, but the ex-Sorcerer Supreme won't fold that easily, especially with the full might of Kamar-Taj behind him. That is unless one dude doesn't properly fortify their mind, but I doubt that will happen. Wanda enters with a piano sting and makes it clear that the ensuing attack is in fact reasonable. A fight with the Scarlet Witch must have these sorcerers nervous. Maybe a rousing speech from director Sam Raimi will help.
Most of you will not survive.
Well, damn. How about you, Wong?
Sorcerers! Fortify your mind!
Despite Wong's very clear instructions, Wanda is able to infiltrate one sorcerer's mind in a very cool shot. This breaks the protective barrier surrounding Kamar-Taj, and Wanda doesn't hesitate to start mercilessly killing people. Before I get to the kills, quick shout out to all the stunt performers that were being tossed around like ragdolls and practically standing on top of real explosions for this sequence.
The explosions, we really wanted to get the stunt people right on top of them. So rather than use traditional black powder, we've gone for a high pressure nitrogen, which is really, really safe.
Now this part was difficult to count, but I'll do my best. It's my first time after all. There are a lot of random bodies on the ground in this scene, but I'm only going to count the ones that have clear injuries, since we later see that a lot of them are just unconscious. I'll start with these 5 that get blown off the roof, because even though it isn't clear, it seems like they didn't survive. There are also 3 bodies on the roof riddled with arrows, plus another 4 killed with arrows when Wanda plays her Uno reverse card. In this medium shot, we see one guy with an arrow in his chest, and in the ensuing shot, I count 3 bodies rich with arrows behind Strange, adding 4 more to the count. And then, holy god, a wide shot. I do not envy James at all right now. Let's see. There looks to be 4 people in this tower that I would say meet their end. I think one guy at the bottom there appears to have arrows in him, so he goes on the count. And I'll put what seems to be 18 people falling through the floor on the count as well. There's an additional 6 bodies on the roofs, including this guy that gets blown away, and a blink or you'll miss it body that follows him. That gives us an additional 29 bodies to add to the count. In the next shot, we see there are 2 bodies on the left here, but those were already counted as the ones behind Strange. However, these 7 bodies look new, so onto the count they go. This poor guy is a for sure ski, as he's coldly wiped from existence. Burned bodies are new, and I count 3. I won't count any more in this wide shot because I'm sure I already counted them, and Wanda made too much of a goddamn mess shuffling bodies around on her landing. And with that, it's the perfect time to take a moment to say how much I love Wanda as the villain in this movie. Elizabeth Olsen's acting is superb, and we can really feel the pain her character is in. And of course, she's absolutely terrifying as the Scarlet Witch. To anyone that thinks this is out of character, you're wrong. This was my wildest hope going into the movie, and they actually frickin' did it. It was all clearly set up, and it follows her character's journey perfectly. Say whatever you want about this movie, but I won't stand for Wanda slander, and I won't be reasonable. Back to the action, Wanda pulls some sorcerers in the puddles, but we don't see any confirmed kills, so the count stays the same. Then things get really Evil Dead, as Wanda contorts her body out of a gong and confronts our heroes. She laments how she dreams about her children every night, and that waking up to her current reality is the true nightmare. Another great way to show Wanda's current mental state. But Strange would rather hiss and send out dragon demons than listen to Wanda, which proves to be a mistake. That kind of behavior gets you a red particle effect to the back, and a trip through the multiverse. This sequence is super cool. It includes some Easter egg universes, a paint universe, a cartoon universe, Nick Cage's Greatest Fear universe, a dinosaur universe, and an ocean universe where some of the fish are dragged into New York and hit by a car, oh no! But America and Strange end up in the most fascinating universe. One where red means go. Yeah, the actual multiverse exploration is pretty weak for a movie with this title, and I can understand the disappointment, especially if you were expecting multiversal madness on the level of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like I said, there's not much exciting about this universe, except for random Bruce Campbell cameos, memory lanes that only show sad expositional memories, and a friendly Mordo. Well, kinda friendly. He drugged Strange in America with a transition into a rock and rollin' dream walking dream sequence, complete with guitar stings. Hell yeah! Give me more gratuitous Sam Raimi. We get some in the form of awesome horror elements, as our Wanda takes over the body of this Wanda. There's flickering lights, rolling peas, and a chilling photo that moves. Elizabeth Olsen has one of the best death stares in the business. And is that a Delta 88 with monster truck wheels? You're damn right it is! The Scarlet Witch completes her body takeover, signified with some red eyes and a fourth wall break. Spooky! I'm trying my best. Skipping over the ice cream song, we head back to our universe, where it's revealed a deleted scene is still alive. She destroys the Darkhold, which seems way too easy to do, and the book gives it right back to her as she goes out in a blaze of glory. No Darkhold? No problem. The book was just a copy. The real thing is transcribed into Mount Wondergore, which Wong agrees to lead Wanda to save his friends. Although, I think saving the multiverse may be more important than saving the Ox King. But hey, to each Sorcerer Supreme their own. Meanwhile, Strange in America find themselves feeling like 2 of the 13 ghosts. Fun fact, they had to wear earpieces while in these boxes because they couldn't hear jack shit.
I can't hear anything at all.
On the outside looking in is another version of Christine, which of course catches the still hung up Strange's attention. He only gets a little time to chat up this Christine, however, before he's escorted to a big chamber where we meet the Illuminati.
The Illuminati?
The Illuminati. There's Haley Atwell as Captain Carter, Anson Mount as Blackagar Boltagon, Lashana Lynch as Captain Marvel, and holy shit, John Krasinski as Reed Richards, and Patrick Stewart as Professor X. Oh my god, I can't wait to see what these characters do. The idea for including the Illuminati actually came from writer Michael Waldron admitting he had no idea where to take the story, so he just threw them in because he couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah, that's definitely a case of me just not knowing what to do with the script.
Fair enough. The Cameo Squad explained that during their Infinity War, their Doctor Strange used the Darkhold to try and find a solution to the conflict, which caused an incursion. An incursion is an event where 2 universes collide, resulting in the complete destruction of one or both universes. They were able to defeat Thanos using the Book of Vishanti, adding the big purple guy to the count. They also deemed Doctor Strange too big a threat to be kept alive, so Black Bolt, talked, crescendoing into a deadly scream that disintegrated Strange for another kill. Wanda infiltrates the building, and we finally get to the scene we all wish James had covered. Wanda drops one of the most badass lines.
I have children of my own. I understand your pain.
Is their mother still alive?
Yes.
Good. There will be someone left to raise them.
And then proceeds to erase Black Bolt's mouth from reality. And in a panic, Black Bolt screams. But since the killer sound has nowhere to go, it bounces back into his skull and blows his brains out. Holy shit. Ah, come on, Wanda. You don't need to emote on him. That's just bad sportsmanship. A shocked Mr. Fantastic tries stretching to grab Wanda, but she's not having it. She shreds him into silly string and pops his head, in what I have to imagine is a very painful death. And to anyone saying this was a stupid move by the smartest man alive, he's book smart, not street smart. He just watched his friend's head get popped. The natural thing to do would be to attack in anger. And don't give me that, he should have just retreated and formed a plan BS. Yeah, because Wanda was gonna let them go huddle up in the trenches for 5 minutes and wait while they came up with a plan. Who's the stupid one now? The remaining 2 Illuminati members seem more mildly annoyed more than anything else, and a tag team fight begins. After Captain Marvel gets slammed out of the building, Captain Carter tries going solo, but Wanda prefers 2 better than 1, so she uses Captain Carter's own shield to cut her in half. Fuck yeah. I know the actual death is covered up a bit, but it's still cool to see this fan theory brought to life. Captain Marvel comes back blasting, and the 2 form a tornado. They're both blasted backwards, and Wanda finishes the job by dropping a statue on the Captain. Now I know there's some debate as to whether or not this would kill Captain Marvel, but I'm gonna say it did. I think when they were fighting in the air, Wanda used her magic to strip Rambeau of her powers, or at the very least, severely weaken her. So yeah, she goes onto the count. Professor X finally gets all the way down the world's longest wheelchair ramp and engages Wanda in a mind battle. In a very cool looking scene, Charles finds the Wanda that has been trapped inside her own mind. He tries to rescue her, but the Scarlet Witch catches up to him and shuts that shit down. Now, most people saw this as Wanda snapping his neck, but if you pay attention, she actually ripped his head in half, resulting in the final member of the Illuminati meeting their end at the hands of the Scarlet Witch. Strange escapes after a scrum with Mordo and catches up to Christine and America. The 3 of them make a run for it as they attempt to reach the doorway that leads to the Book of Vishanti, but Wanda is in hot pursuit. Oh, or maybe actually not. She seems to have stopped. Oh, never mind. There she is. Doctor Strange used surf. It's super effective. The 3 open the door to the Gap Junction, a space between universes, and one of my favorite set pieces of the film, where the Book of Vishanti lay waiting. You just have to grab it. Grab it and open it. come on, there's an evil witch chasing you. You don't have time, open the book. Ah, she caught up. And destroyed the book. Wanda takes America back to our main universe and sends Strange and Christine to a universe that doesn't seem to be in the greatest shape. It's got Evil Dead cars floating around. And yeah, they actually had this car on wires swinging around on set. As I mentioned earlier, they used the same New York set for all three universes, and just dressed it differently to reflect which one they were in. For this one, they covered the set in fake snow and strung up the aforementioned cars. And that wave of water was created by dumping water out of a giant bucket and through a chute. Fun! Strange and Christine arrive at this universe's crumbling Sanctum Sanctorum, complete with elegant boneyard decor. Inside this ghastly building, our Doctor Strange finds a more brooding version of himself, referred to by us fans as Sinister Strange. Our Doctor Strange wants the Darkhold Sinister Strange has to help him get back to his universe, but Sinister Strange wants him to trade Christine for it. This doesn't fly with our Strange, as the two fail to reach an agreement. Sinister Strange confesses that he used the Darkhold to travel between universes and kill other Doctor Stranges, and she reveals a third eye, which will come back later. We then begin the best goddamn scene in the movie, and you cannot change my mind. This music battle is one of the most creative scenes I have ever seen, as the notes being flung back and forth create a mix of the classics, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, and Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor. It is perfect in every way. The idea for the music note battle came from Sam Raimi himself, who didn't want to do the same old for this fight. We didn't want them to throw fisticuffs, and we didn't even want their classic spells against each other. We wanted something that we hadn't seen before. I thought it would be really cool if they used music as a weapon against each other. They brought Brian Andrews, director of What If, on board to help design the look and colors of the music notes. For the actual musical composition, they turned to composer Danny Elfman, who worked with Raimi on all three Spider-Man movies. Originally, Elfman was working multiple classical pieces into the song, but Kevin Feige stepped in at the last second to simplify it to just Beethoven versus Bach, which I think was the right choice.
Kevin Feige jumped in. He goes, Danny and Sam, you guys, just let's make it Bach versus Beethoven, like simplify it down. I said, yeah, great.
The final note of the battle, plucked from a nearby harp, explodes the musical ball, sending Sinister Strange out of the window and onto the fence below. Even though we see his third eye open, this Strange is dead. Meanwhile, on Mount Wundagore, Wanda has begun extracting America's powers and tossing wild wongs off the sides of cliffs. But don't worry, he's fine. Strange uses the Darkhold to dreamwalk into his original universe to save America. But wait, I thought there needed to be a living version of oneself to dreamwalk into.
Who said they had to be living?
Aw, hell yeah. More Sam Raimi, baby. Zombie Strange makes it to the base of Mount Wundagore, but is stopped by the souls of the damned who don't like his dream walking in a dead body. A couple of the damned souls come through Stephen's real body and start attacking Christine. She somehow fends off this first guy, giving her time to grab the Brazier of Bomb Goliath, an artifact we saw back in the original Doctor Strange movie, when our hero tried threatening Caecilius.
You don't know how to use that, do you?
We finally get to see what it does here, as Christine uses a candle to light it and blast fireballs at the demons. I'm sure there's more to it though, like how in the comics they used it to reach Mephisto. But here, it just looks like the demons explode. But you can't kill a soul, so they don't go on the count. With a little pep talk from Christine and another epic guitar sting, Strange finds the power to control the souls of the damned and form them into one badass cape. Pose for that trailer shot. I love the look of Zombie Strange. The makeup team did an amazing job with this mostly practical character, and Cumberbatch did a great job with the movements. He really makes it feel like he's piloting a dead body. Strange and Wong trap Wanda in a magical demon ball, and Wong implores Strange to take America's powers, echoing Strange's words from Infinity War.
Strange, take America's power! There's no other way.
Tony, there was no other way.
But instead of taking her power, he empowers her with an inspirational speech about trusting in oneself, ensuring her she can control her powers. Yeah, it's a bit cheap and cliched to play the you could do it all along card, but I was just happy it didn't result in her actually physically beating Wanda, because I had one rule going into this movie, and that was that no one should be able to beat the Scarlet Witch. She is the strongest. Which is why, after tanking a few punches, Wanda shuts that nonsense down. However, America opens a portal back to the previous universe, where the world's most unperceptive children are waiting. Guys, a bright loud portal just opened up 5 feet in front of you. What the fuck is Tommy looking at? At least Billy's playing the Switch. I wonder if he's got Shaq Fu loaded up. The kids understandably freak out when they finally see the Scarlet Witch and hide behind their real mother, who is promptly yeeted across the fucking room. The behind the scenes of this stunt is just as brutal and I love it. The boys start hurling toys at the Scarlet Witch, which in real life hit Elizabeth Olsen in the head, resulting in the very real yell we hear in the movie. Stop it! The fear Wanda sees in her son's eyes leads her to break down in tears as she finally realizes the weight of her actions. In a beautiful shot, the alternate Wanda comforts her Scarlet Witch counterpart, ensuring her that her boys will be loved. Wanda's story and character growth throughout all of her appearances is my favorite part of the entire MCU. It's so well done. With the guilt of what she has done weighing heavy on her, Wanda destroys Mount Wondergore while simultaneously destroying every copy of the Darkhold in every universe. But you're crazy if you think I'm putting Wanda on this list. Mark my words, we will see her again. And I'm not putting Zombie Strange on here either. The body was already dead and was being puppeteered, and the puppeteer is still alive, so. Geppetto has a heart-to-heart with Christine, where he drops a line that will grace social feeds for years to come.
I love you in every universe.
And so wraps up Strange's drawn-out love story. We return back to our universe, where Kamar-Taj is being rebuilt, and everyone is optimistic about the future. The movie ends with Steven taking a nice casual stroll, when he's suddenly attacked by a guitar sting. And a third eye. Oh man, what does this mean? Is he corrupted? How will this affect him? Well, you don't have to wait long for answers, as the post-credit scene shows him seemingly fine. A mysterious Charlize Theron shows up and cuts open a portal to the Dark Dimension, revealing that Strange caused an incursion. Strange opens his third eye as the two jump into a sequel. The second post-credit scene shows Bruce Campbell's Pizza Papa finally coming out of a spell Doctor Strange cast on him earlier in the movie, and he finishes things off with a cheeky fourth wall break.
It's over!
How many people died in the madness of this strange multiversal adventure? Let's get to the numbers and find out. Ooh, yeah, that works real nice. This thing is cool. 66 people died in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but instead of a gender breakdown, I think it may be more fun to do a hero versus villain breakdown. And for this movie, 64 people were good guys, while only 2 were villains. Damn, Scarlet Witch gets it done. With a runtime of 126 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 1.91 minutes. However, if we look at kills as groups, with kills taking place within a minute or so of each other constituting a group, we get 8 groupings of kills. That leaves us with an average of kills taking place on screen every 16 minutes. Feel free to take that one, James. I'll give the Infinity Gauntlet for coolest kill to Black Bolt. Was there any doubt? Blowing your own brains out with your voice after a witch erases your mouth is a great way to go. Broken Arrow for lamest kill will go to this group of 5 that simply got blown off the roof. And that's it. Multiverse of Madness was released on May 6th of 2022, just as theaters were getting back to max capacity, and it brought in a little under $1 billion at the box office. Of course, as it goes with the MCU, all these characters are expected to return at some point. Thank you so much for watching. I had a ton of fun making this, and I can already think of dozens of movies I would love to talk about. But we'll see. And if it's not clear already, I'm a huge fan of Dead Meat. If you somehow found this video without knowing about Dead Meat James, do yourself a favor and go check him out. He is the GOAT. Thanks again, and be good people.